Tyson Pedro says he hasn't hit his prime, and he doesn't expect to reach his full potential for another couple of years. That makes his next bout against light heavyweight title contender Aussie Pro all the more remarkable for the rapid rising Western Sydney export. George St. Pierre feared he had cancer. Conor McGregor faces New York court over alleged wild attack at Stadium 1 Championship Reign of Kings, Martin Nguyenai's third division world crown in Manila. Pedro knows that a victory over the number 7 ranked St. Pro at UFC Fight Night Singapore will catapult him into title contention, but the 26-year-old is in no rush. It could easily be within the year, but I'm looking at 2020. Pedro said of his shot at UFC Gold, "I've still got some work to do. The UFC probably doesn't want to hear this, but I feel I'm at about 60% of where I want to be. I want to be at my full potential when I'm coming into a title fight. This will be my 9th professional fight, 5 of those in the UFC, and I'm still learning on the job, but by the 15th fight I'll be ready for the title shot." Beaten by Swede Ilir Latifi back in September of last year, number 13 ranked Pedro acknowledged he was slightly out of his depth. "I believed I was ready, but I wasn't 100% ready for that, but you can see where the experience takes you." Pedro said he'd been around the block and had 3-round fights. "That was my first 3-round fight, that's the learning curve." That said, Pedro, 7-1, remains supremely confident of upstaging St. Pro 22-11 in the co-main event at Singapore Indoor Stadium on Sunday. His mode of victory, first-round finish. Pedro snapped, "But honestly, I wouldn't mind a war. I probably need a war to get the double bonus. Whatever the UFC wants for the double bonus, that's what'll give them. The end goal, eventually for Pedro, is to have a crack at current light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. But Cormier has his hands full preparing for a champion versus champion bout against heavyweight title holder Stipe Miocic at UFC 226 in July. "I reckon Cormier is going to beat Stipe," Pedro quipped. "I'm a big DC fan and he's just so good at the wrestle and up on that wall. I hope he wins. I hope he gets the legacy of dual belts, heavyweight and light heavyweight. I think he might retire after that. A former light heavyweight champ John Jones could be back by then, though he's just a crazy martial artist." Pedro said of the suspended Jones, "Whether he did or didn't cheat, you can't deny it. His distance and timing is unbelievable. He's still an animal right now." Pedro's focus is on St. Pro. Pedro arrived in Singapore on Sunday, fresh from a grueling 10-day camp at Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket, Thailand. It was designed to help him acclimatize to the tropical conditions. "I was trying to get used to the humidity and it threw me off," Pedro said. "It knocked the wind out of me when I first got there. It lasted about 5 days. I still felt like I didn't have my lungs on the 4th or 5th day. The bulk of the work, though, was done at Donald Cowboy Cerrone's ranch in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was crazy." Pedro said of his month-long stay at the farm. "He's a nutter, but it was one of those life experiences where I'll look back and go, wow, this is someone I grew up watching on the TV and he's invited me to stay at his ranch and we doing crazy activities and training together. It was an awesome experience." Pedro, Cerrone and a host of other professional fighters went mountain bike riding, clay shooting and wakeboarding, would do all this stuff and then did training afterwards. "It's always non-stop." Pedro said, "I lost heaps of weight just being there, trying to keep up. I'm a lightweight and these guys are welterweights. They don't eat and I'm like, I need to eat something soon and have a nap." A renowned thrill-seeker, Cowboy had Pedro covered in most activities, but not on the canvas. "On the mats, he hated me," Pedro said. "He just called me a fat ass, because I'd just lay on top of him and squeeze him. I knew if I let him go he'd be on my like an octopus." For a stand-up fighter, he has a very underrated ground game, but when it came to holding a shotgun, shooting-wise, hell no, I had no chance. Pedro said, "That guy does it every day, and then they do horseback shooting and I wasn't confident enough to get on the horse, let alone shoot if the back of one will do that next time. I got stung big time. We do ultimate frisbee once a week and I got stung with a bad team. I'm blaming my team for that though. Laughs. With just 4 days until the fight, Pedro has kept things low-key in the Lion City. He cruised around on an electric scooter and had a sneak peek of the famous Orchard Road. I haven't had a chance to have a good look around, but after the fight, I'm going to do the bungee jump and some other stuff. Pedro said, I went into the shopping malls. I went to have a look at what I'll get from Louis Vuitton when I get that double bonus. I've had a look at Marina Sands. I'll go up on top and have a look at the view. I need that double bonus. Come on, Dana White, I really could use the money. These training camps are costing me